Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Nathaniel Potvin, and I'm with your boy Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. The Walking Dead. Z Nation. Van Helsing. DC Titans. Flash. The Legends of Tomorrow. Black Lightning. American Horror Story. The Green Arrow. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio. Today, we have an amazing guest, a young rising star, Disney, Netflix, the list goes on and on. We have Nathaniel Potvin. What's up, Nathaniel?
Nothing much, man. I'm just chilling.
Are you chilling, buddy?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
There you go. That's cool. Chilling is good and illing is even better.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds pretty tight, to be honest.
That's cool. So, Nathaniel, you have a lot of fans out there, and I know you're a young guy, and you started your acting career when you were in school. What grade were you in when you started acting?
Oh, I was about in like 7th grade. Yeah, I was like, yeah, 7th grade sounds about right. I started acting because I was a dancer originally. There was a class at my dancing studio, so I took the class, and then I met my manager, and then it was history ever since because we just started collaborating together, and then my career just blossomed into what it is right now.
And your career's going really well. How old are you now?
I'm 19 now. Yeah, pretty crazy.
There you go. A young star in Hollywood. Do you see a lot of things different? Like, I know you're young, and I know you haven't seen things that happened back in the days, but you probably hear stories. Have you seen a difference in Hollywood from today than from a long time ago of what you read and heard?
Well, growing up in Hollywood, I've definitely seen a difference. I've seen, just because of the recent stuff that's been happening as well, but it's always the ever-changing industry, you know? There's always going to be something new that people are going to want to start doing, and I've just noticed that as I've grown up, and I've grown up in this industry for, it's been 8 years since I've been acting. So that, and it's just been getting better and better. And then I've also noticed that people have just also started to hone their craft into more of a storytelling instead of an entertainment type deal, trying to tell stories now instead of just trying to entertain people, which I really love seeing. When I see a movie that's really entertaining as well as it's a great story, that's even better, So I've really enjoyed watching and growing up in this industry.
So you started with hip-hop first. Yes,
I was a hip-hop dancer.
And
yeah,
what made you get into hip-hop dancing?
When I started dancing, I was probably in 1st grade, which is pretty crazy. I had a friend who was like, come to my dance studio. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just went. It was a great place to, get out my energy. And also I love dancing. I couldn't stop moving. So I went to this dance studio, and I was having a lot of fun. And then I also found out that's a way that I could express myself through an art form, and it was just really fun. I got really immersed in that. And then I found my acting class, like I said, and then I got really immersed in that. And I feel like that's been my main source of creativity and artistry as I've grown up, and it's something that I really identify with.
That's wonderful. You're a very sharp young man. Was there
Perfect.
You like that, okay. Was there any, of your family members in acting or in the Hollywood scene, or you're the first person?
Well, my family's been entrenched in the Hollywood scene, not from, what you think. My parents were actually post-production sound mixers, so my mom used to, mix for television, and my dad he works at Dolby Laboratories in Burbank. And, doing that for 20 plus years now. And he's just had a fantastic time. And because of that, I've had a really nice ease entry into the industry, because it always started about my dad. He would bring movies that he really admired home, and which is really hard because he had to watch movies for a living. He's a strong critic. And so whenever I bring a movie up to my dad, I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And he barely, if he doesn't even say anything, that's when not worth, he'll say it's not worth his time, but I mean, that sounds a little pretentious, but I think that honestly, he's seen many movies. He's probably got the science down by now. He could probably make a movie if he wanted to.
Well, he's watching out for you. You're his little boy, and he's been in it 20-something years, so he knows what's up. He's probably had thousands of projects in front of him, and he's worked on. So he sees the names and the production companies. So if he's not if it's not getting his attention, he's like, whatever, next.
Yes, 100%. Someone said to me the other day, they're like, if a script or movie isn't gripping in the first 15 minutes, then it's just not going to be like anything else to the rest of the film, It's going to be like mediocre. And and if a movie is like not great for the whole film and then it makes up for the film in the 15 minutes, no one's going to want to watch the whole film and just to have that 15 minutes be great, It's not worth their time.
That's really cool that you have this kind of entryway. But see, your parents aren't actors. They're not directors. They're coming from sound and in the engineering part, which is a whole different thing.
It's honestly been super nice. I actually just started, I made my first short film. We're in the post-production process right now, which is really nice. And my dad was like, you should budget more of your money towards post-production because that's a really important and hard part. But me being naive, I was like, no, Dad, we got the script. We'll shoot it. And it'll turn out perfect like we thought in our heads, and that was not the case. And so when we're in the editing room, we're like, oh, why isn't this matching up, or why doesn't this make sense? I had wished that we would have had put more money towards the post-production. Yeah, they've been in the industry such a long time that they know so much.
It's all good, though. You got to live and let learn. That's good that you listen to them, but sometimes you're going to learn on your own. But next time, I think you should listen to your dear old daddy and be like, Pops, I got you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So when you were in high school and you were acting, you were the Disney character in the Mech-X4 while you were in high school, right?
Yes, I was. I was finishing up junior year and my senior year while I was shooting Mech.
How was it in school when you were shooting the Disney? Were you getting a lot of play? Were a lot of girls talking to you? Were a lot of guys trying to be your friend?
Oh man. Well, when I was shooting Mech, we actually shot in Canada. Not a lot of people know that, but it's just easier on the budget. And our show is super special effects heavy. We had to shoot in Canada. So while we were up there, I actually had to do school online. So all my friends in my high school was back in California. My close friends knew what I was doing and knew where I was, but other people at the school had no idea where I was. I just disappeared one day and they're like, oh, cool. It was nice. My friends were really nice and supportive. They weren't mad at me or anything. They really loved the fact that I was going to lead my own Disney show, and they wanted bragging rights, of course. So
they were like, that's my boy, Nathaniel. He's on Disney. A lot of TV shows are filmed in Canada. Toronto's the mecca for superhero sci-fi television shows. How did you like your experience in Canada while you were filming?
Well, we shot in Vancouver, which is just as great as Toronto. Vancouver's more rural. It's a lot more forest, more greenery. The downtown Vancouver looks like LA almost. And then outside it looks like a bay city. So it looks like probably a little bit like San Francisco, right outside of there. So it was really, really cool shooting there. We had a lot to explore with. There was skiing all year round, which was pretty crazy to me. We would ski at not Whistler, but Cypress and all these other cool ski resorts. And we had a really fantastic time. And you know what? The thing is, when we were up there, it was just 4 main cast. So we really got to know each other and hang out with each other a lot. We got to know each other so well. That's my family now. So I whenever I have a question or I'm talking about something or I want to hang out with someone, I hit up my family and just, hang out.
Who was the first person you talked to when you got this part on Disney? I know it's probably an exciting thing for you, right? Disney is dope. It's amazing. Who was the first person?
The first person I told was probably my best friend, Michael. My mom was there when we got the call, and that was really freaking awesome. But as soon as I got the call, I called my best friend, Michael, and I was like, Michael, I just booked a television show. He's like, oh, dope. What? For what? I was like, it's for Disney Channel, and I'm going to be leading my own show. He was so excited for me. And I grant you, this has been my best friend since I was in first grade. He was excited for me, and he was screaming. And he actually had a lot of fun bragging that I was on Disney Channel. And, we would go out and he'd be like, yo, do you know this kid? He's on Disney Channel. So he'd embarrass me if he wanted to. I told him because I know for a fact that he would have told me if he had booked something too. So yeah, he was the first person I told.
Who's the one person that you go to for advice every time? You're like, I need this person to give me the advice. This is the go-ahead green light person. Who is that?
Oh, shoot. That'd probably be my girlfriend, Kayla. She always gives me great advice. And I feel the best advice, I wouldn't say we're opposites, but she definitely brings another perspective to the table whenever we're discussing things. She's just from a different place. And so she knows different things and has different things going through her head. So I'll ask her and she'll put out this perspective that I never even thought of. I'm like, oh shit, well, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's do that, So I definitely go to her for most of my problems or issues or just advice in general. And she never steers me wrong. She was on Disney Channel too, and now she's working on some other stuff.
So she understands what you're going through. She sees the ups and downs, so she gives you great advice.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I really lucked out, though, because she's like one of those girls who's an actress, but she doesn't act like an actress. So she's really, really humble, and she really, really admires anything other than the business. She really loves the business, but she's not afraid to detach herself when needed.
That's really cool to have. You have your parents that are post-production superstars, your girlfriend's an actress that's down to earth just like you. You have an amazing circle around you. I think that's a key role to your success. You got to keep that going, and I think you're going to grow even bigger and better. What's the best role that you've had so far in your young career?
Oh, man, that's a hard question. I've been fortunate to have a lot of good ones, but I don't know how to even categorize the best role. I mean, some of them are so different, and some of them really are similar. So I feel like the best role I've had, it would be between three of them. It'd be between American Vandal, because I love that show, and it is so funny. And my character was super controversial. He brought up around some evidence that really helped figure out who the turd burglar was. Mech-X4, because Ryan's super important character. He leads the whole team and he fights in the robot. Or 5 Point, who I play Wallace. He is super instrumental in how the whole tragedy goes into place and how it all gets cleaned up at the end as well. Yeah, I can't pick a favorite. I got three, man.
That's a good answer because each situation is different. And I kind of was expecting an answer like that because you're so different in each role. One's a superhero type of thing. Because, I know you're driving a robot, but it's still superhero stuff. And, American Vandal is such a cool show. How was your experience on American Vandal when you got that? Were you excited? How was the whole thing? Because you're shooting with all these youngsters and it's just all fun.
Oh, man, dude, that show is the best. I had so much fun shooting that show. We shot it in Portland, which was really interesting because I had never been there, and I've fallen in love since I've been there with Portland. Portland's amazing. When I got the call that I booked it, I was I think I was the most excited I've ever been about booking something. I know that sounds weird, but every time I get excited every time I book something. But I was super, super excited this time because I'd watched the first season of the show, and it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen. It was such juvenile humor. And it was done so maturely. They did a true crime documentary about the phallic shape, and it was so funny to me. I think it was the only thing that I'd seen that was different because it wasn't a mockumentary. I'd seen mockumentaries before. So I was really wowed and also loved the first season. And so when I got the audition to do the second season, I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, I have to at least audition for this because I just want to get in front of the casting director who cast it and the executives. I want them to see me to show that I'm pretty funny. And so I get in front of there and I auditioned for another role at first, and then I didn't book that, and they submitted me for another role, and I booked that, which was Gonzo. I was so excited. And so when I get to set, the whole experience was wonderful. Everyone was so freaking nice and so funny. And I'm there, and I think the best thing about it was I got to improv a lot, which not a lot of actors get to do when they're working on projects. And when you think of improv, you think of this super fun exercise you do before you start acting. You go to the improv and you just watch people make up silly things, but it's so much more complicated than that. And to get to do that art form for pretty much most of the show was really, really amazing. I'd say at least 60% of that show is completely improv.
So they let you just do whatever that comes in your mind. Is it because there's so many kids there, or is it because they just thought you can do that really well?
Well, the whole story, they wanted it to be as natural as possible. Because when you go into a high school, you've seen this a lot. When people write scripts and movies for high school characters, they seem a little cliche, and it seems oh, that would only happen in this scenario because this is how it was written. But when you see American Vandal and the whole high school experience, it is so authentic, and it's because they just let kids be themselves, and they let the main kids be themselves inside their characters, which was really, really awesome. That's what basically improv is. Right now, we're doing improv because I don't know what you're going to say next, and I don't know what I'm going to say next. I just have kind of an outline, So I got to do that, but within my character, which was super, super amazing. And it's also super, super difficult because like you start thinking about, oh, would my character say this or would my character say that? And so you have to trust the work you've done in the scene study that you did with your character would say a certain thing or not say a certain thing. It just should come naturally and flow. So I think they're geniuses for doing that. And I think they're really smart because they also understand when the improv becomes too silly. Like they know when it's real and it's funny, but it's not outrageous.
A lot of people thought the actors were real kids from school and all that. That's how you guys pulled it off really well. And kudos, that's, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like so natural. And the funny thing is the executives explained this to me. The writers, they're like, yeah, in the first season you have that character who you think did it and that kid at like when you went to high school, you knew that kid. Everyone knew who that kid was, who that like Vandal was, and he did that. Like it's just so funny because I was like, yeah, I totally did. Like growing up when going to high school, I knew that kid who was like the kid who would probably draw a phallic shape on the teacher's cars or something,
Yeah, that's funny. So these directors and writers exactly knew what's up with all that. And that's kind of great that they got into your minds because maybe their minds were getting into that as well. And you guys pulled it off great. That show is amazing. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was even better.
Thank you, yeah.
I hope you're on season 3. What do you think about that? You think you'll get on, or no, they just have different people?
No, I don't think I will get on season 3. And I really respect them for this because they're letting other actors get their chance on their show, which is really nice. They're not sticking with the same cast. They stick with the same leads, like Peter and Sam, who are really
the detectives, right? They're like the guys that
so they keep them. And so when they do another season, they're probably going to move on to another school, which I think is just so smart.
That is very smart. I thought that was the best thing. Like keeping the detective kids that go from school to school is great, but changing everybody else because of course you're not going to be in another school, duh, right?
Yeah. Like unless I transfer, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, not from here, this state to that state. So that show was amazing. You were also in a show called Alexa and Katie. How was that experience?
Oh, that's one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had. That show is super inviting and super nice on the set. And the leads are super amazing. They're super talented. The story, the content is honestly, it's really heartwarming. If you don't know, the show is about two girls. One of them has cancer and her other friend shaves her head in sympathy for her. And they have to navigate high school while one of them has cancer. They really tackle this really hard and difficult issue. They do it so well, like with comedy, and they do it with heartfelt moments, and the family surrounding them is so wonderful. And I think it's a really great way to show these kids nowadays that, cancer is something that shouldn't define you, but it's something that is around. I love working on that show. I have a really great time. They really let me do a lot of improv on that show too. I really enjoy everyone there.
Is improv acting something you really dig?
Honestly, yeah, it is. I do love to improv. I feel like for me, when I went to acting class, that was my favorite part because it was only the warm-up, which is unfortunate, but I would go in there and I would have the most fun doing the warm-up and the improv, and then I would still have a good time doing like scenes and stuff, but improv is really where I hit my stride sometimes.
Kind of notice you like the improv things. You like them letting you get to become yourself. Do you kind of give a little bit of Nathaniel to each role? Do you see yourself in each role?
Oh, 100%. I feel like if you can't see yourself in a role, then you really shouldn't do it, right? There's not going to be anything natural about it. That's what people love to see. They love to see a character come to life naturally and have someone that could be like, that could be my friend, or that could be like a villain, a real villain. And it's because these actors who are amazing, around the world, they bring themselves to a character, and this character really comes to life because if you have the right actor for the right part, they'll bring themselves to it naturally, and that character will really be beautiful.
Do you take some of the roles home sometimes? When you go home, you're still playing that character?
You know what? I don't. And I've actually thought about this a lot because actors who are method actors and they bring their roles home all the time. And I've thought about it. I've thought about the challenge, just having a role one day and then completely staying in that role the whole time and seeing how it works out for me, how the performance plays. But sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, oh man, but I couldn't do that to my family. Like, what if the character is really mean and I don't want to be mean to my family? So I'm thinking conscientiously for the others around me that don't want to be like hanging out with like a Ryan every day, or don't want to be hanging out with Wallace every day.
They don't want Ryan every day, right?
It's like, yeah, they want to talk to Nate, not Ryan, you know? I think Daniel Day-Lewis said when he was shooting Lincoln, when he won his award and he accepted it, and he said thank you to his wife for having to come home to the president of the United States every night. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's crazy. He was Abraham Lincoln, and he knew everything about Abraham Lincoln that there was to know. That's just insane.
He was at home with his wife. He's like, look, that's me on the $5 bill, baby. Give me some respect.
Yeah, like, you know, saying random stuff. He's trying to recite the Emancipation Proclamation, stuff like that.
Well, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis, he disappears for a few years, then comes back with a crazy acting role. I've seen all your roles, and I've looked at things, and, you know, I prepare for these, and I've seen that you had such diverse roles, from Alex and Katie to Mech-X4, and 5 Points, which is a character you play as Wallace. That's so different. What's up with that? Like, what made you want to get into that show?
You know what? That show is something that's really personal to me as well, because content's super, super strong, and it was something that really spoke to me. And I also saw that it was Facebook's first show. So I was like, I would love to take on a show that talks about difficult issues and is trailblazing a way for other Facebook shows to come to fruition. And so I saw all that, and I auditioned for it, and yeah, I had a few callbacks, and I originally thought that they were not going to cast me at all. Like, I was just like, all right, well, I guess it's not going to happen. And then out of nowhere, I was finishing up Alexa and Katie, and they were like, wait, we would love to have you. We just couldn't figure out if we could have you because you were shooting Alexa and Katie at the time. And I was like, oh. So it was because I was working on another job that they didn't hire me right away. That show is just super amazing too, man. I love the writing on that show and the direction, of course. Thomas Carter was the director. He's a fantastic guy. And, of course, the producing. They're just amazing over there at Simpson Street and Indigenous. It's a pretty amazing show.
That's good that you have such a good view in life. You know, I don't see that a lot with a lot of guys your age. You give the answers very differently, and I like that about you. I like the way you speak, and I like the way you look at these TV shows. You're not just like, hey, it's fun. You're like, because it's to my heart and stuff like that. One thing, you were on Spider-Man, and your character was Prowler. Was it easier to do voiceover stuff because of your parents' background?
You know what? That's a great question, because my dad, he kind of gave me a pep talk before I even did any voiceover stuff. And he said, before you go in and do a voiceover job, you just want to make the engineer's job easy. And so he was giving me all these tips on how to make the voiceover engineer's job easy. Like, you can do this, you can do come in on the punches on time. And I was so boggled by it. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Oh, cool. Thanks, Dad. And so every time I go into a sound studio where I'm doing ADR, I'm doing voiceover, I always drop my father's name. He's pretty well known amongst the sound people in Hollywood, which is kind of crazy. I'll just drop his name and people are like, oh wow, Andy, wow, that's cool. That's your dad? Wow, that's awesome. I'm like, that's so strange. In my opinion, he's famous amongst the sound community. That's so funny. So my dad would give me those pep talks before I did the voiceover. And then when I was in there, it was so hard to actually even do voiceover because you have to act without using your face or your hands or your body. It's all through your voice, which is so difficult. I had a great people around me who were helping me, the director of the episode was super nice, and she really directed me well because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm just going to say the words. And she's like, no, you're acting, but you're not seen. I was like, oh, thanks so much. So I was doing that. It was really a blast. I had a really fun time doing that. And I was introduced to that character in Spider-Man, which I didn't know about, which is pretty uncommon. I know a lot about Spider-Man.
Do you love Marvel? You love Spider-Man? Who's your favorite character from that world?
Oh, man. I'm going to say this, and I don't want you to think that I'm being, weird, but Miles Morales is dope. He's so cool. And I hope I get that role one day. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. Galaxy, help me out, please. Miles Morales, he's so dope because he's, Black Spider-Man, of course. And for a young African-American man who looks up to a lot of these comic books, I see that and I'm like, Spider-Man can be black. I can be Spider-Man. That's basically what I said in my head.
That new Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse is giving hope to so many kids because, look, you want to be Spider-Man now, and the doors are open, and I think you're going to be it, man. You just got to work hard, get your dad's guidance, and we're going to pray to the entire universe and myself, Galaxy. I'm going to say, please get Nathaniel as a new Spider-Man. We're going to put that energy out there, man. We're going to put it out there.
That sounds amazing. But yeah, I mean, I of course have a bunch of favorite characters like Nightcrawler, all the other characters in the Marvel Universe.
Did it affect you a little bit when Stan Lee passed away?
Oh, of course. I was super sad. I was actually really fortunate to meet Stan Lee at the Doctor Strange premiere. I got to meet him. So I'm with my castmates from Mech-X4. We're waiting to walk the carpet in front of all the cameras. And they stopped us abruptly, and they were like, wait, don't go yet. Stan Lee's about to walk the carpet. And I was like, yeah, go ahead and let the man walk first. I mean, he's a legend, you know? So we saw him, like, he walked in front of us. He was, like, waving at everyone, and then he gets in front of the cameras, and he's, like, this really cute old man, but you know that cute old man is responsible for, like, some of the best superheroes in the world. And so he's walking past, and then we all do our chants on the carpet. We get our pictures taken. Finally, I catch up with him, and I said, hey, man, you're such an inspiration. Do you think I could get a picture with you? So he was like, what? And I was like, oh, no, I mean, can I get a picture with you? I had to say it a little louder. He was like, oh, yeah, sure, of course. So he shook my hand. We get a picture, and it was probably one of the best moments in my life. And so it was so sad to hear that he passed. But, you know, I mean, like, he's a legend, and his cartoons, his comics, everything is going to live. And, you know, it's sad that it had to outlive him now.
He lived an amazing life. We actually are doing a great documentary on his life. He's going to be missed. A lot of kids really look up to Stan Lee. He's amazing. And I was fortunate as well. I've met him a bunch of times, and I have tons of his memorabilia. So it's really fun. And I can't wait to see you one day having your own memorabilia and hopefully one day being the new Spider-Man, right? That'd be cool.
Yeah, put it out in the universe.
Hey,
it's there.
Hey, we got so many diverse listeners on this show that one of them's going to hear this, man, and they're going to, like, check out your shows and be like, we got to get this kid in. We got to get him in.
I've been training for it my whole life. Here we go. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. So getting to the main show, Mech-X4, like that
yes,
show,
sir.
You were... You know, Ryan Walker, the main dude. What's up with that character? Do you love the character? Did you love the show? How was that experience in general?
You know, I loved playing that character. That character was super fun, super instrumental in my career as an actor, and it's been super instrumental in my life as a person. I'm super thankful to the creators of Mech and my whole cast for being with me. But yeah, I learned a lot from that character. It was super fun to actually watch the character develop, which was super interesting because, I mean, he was a hero, and not all heroes are like a one-sided character. So he had this hero side to him, but he also had this high school side to him where he's like, I'm just a regular kid that has to save the world occasionally, but he does it so well, and he's got the team around him that helps him out, which is great too. Yeah, in the second season, there was an arc where he was struggling with being the hero. Like, he didn't even want to be it, like a hero sometimes. He didn't want to make those decisions that sometimes they were hard. And so watching a kid in high school go through those moments really shows strength and character. So I was really lucky to play that, actually have time to play with the character and those emotions while he was, you know, in the show. Honestly, I think it's been really wonderful working for Disney, and I was so fortunate to do a role such as this. Like, Disney's never done a show like ours before. It's a single cam, adventure, comedy, and like, it was so fun because I love the fact that I can have kids walk up to me and they're like, wow, dude, your show was so cool. It was like Pacific Rim and stuff like that. And I was like, thank you. That's awesome, because kids are looking up to me now, and I'm apparently a superhero to them. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, kids keep asking me if my eyes will change. Like, I'm like, no, they won't, but thank you for watching. So it's just been such a surreal moment and whole process. And honestly, I have to say thank you to Disney, because a lot of people, they throw shade at Disney, but Disney's such a great place that actors can start their careers and really transform themselves from young actors into adults. And so I'm really fortunate to be on that show.
You know, you answered what I was going to ask you. Disney is amazing. I love Disney. Disney's hands are in everything, in Marvel, Star Wars, and this and that. They're an amazing platform for adults and youngsters and for everyone. And every young actor that I've seen that start like yourself and Disney at your level as a leading actor has really made a big name of themselves. So you're on your way, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's been super, super awesome to work on Disney Channel and work with them. They've just been super, super nice. And honestly, they've been super supportive because after Mech ended, they were super sad. Like, even the executives at Disney were like, I'm sorry, but it ran its course. And every time I see them sometimes, they're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And they're like, I love this. And they'll like say like, oh, I loved you in American Vandal. I'm like, what? You guys watched that? They're like, of course we watched that. You were like our kid for like 2 years. And we watched everything you did. And I was like, wow, that's so nice. So even though I'm not like on a Disney Channel show anymore, I'm still like in the Disney family, I guess. And they're just so loving and they're just amazing over there. I have the best time whenever I see them.
That makes me happy to hear that. That makes me happy that they're like really looking into you because you know what? Disney's part of Marvel, right? And, you never know, right? You want to be Spider-Man, so it's going to go through somebody.
I'm really putting it, I'm trying to catch all the, the bases.
It's going to happen. And you just got to keep trying, working hard. Do you ever get like free tickets to Disneyland or Disney World? Do they like treat you really well? Let you go in for free?
Yeah, while the show was on the air, I get to have some tickets to Disneyland, and I get, I think, 2 guides, which is super, super nice, so you don't have to wait in line. Yeah, they have the hookup. That's probably one of the most things I was excited about when I started working for Disney. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to send me to Disneyland for free. That's amazing. It's the happiest place on earth. And I feel like they've spoiled me now because I can't go back to Disneyland any other way. I'm stuck because I want to go to Disneyland, but I don't have a guide with me, and I'm like, dang it.
Call your agent to give him a call, buddy. Say, hey, hook me up.
Hook me up, man. I'm dying over here. I feel like if I asked, they would still be accommodating, but I don't know. I haven't asked.
Well, you got to go to Disneyland, man. You got to go to Disney World. You got to have your fun still. You're still a young dude, and I know you have a good head on your shoulders, and you're trying to grow in this crazy Hollywood scene, but one at a time. What's some new projects that you're working on?
I'm working on a short film that me and my buddy Raymond we directed and produced, and he wrote it, and it's been pretty amazing working through that process because we were in it as well. So directing ourselves was super, super hard, and just being a director was hard, and it was super fun at the same time. And I feel like when I started working on this project, I didn't know if I was going to like directing, if I was going to like producing, but I'm so hooked. Like, I want to make another one. So I'll probably will after this one's finished.
So other than your short film, because I know that's amazing, what else do you have in the works? I know you got a ton of projects, right?
Yeah, I got a ton of projects in the works, and I can't really tell you right now. But, you stay tuned, and it's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I asked everybody, I'm like, hey, what project are you working on? And they're like, I can't tell you. If I tell you, I'm going to have to put you 6 feet under. So I get that. But it's all good. It's the end of the year. Enjoy the rest of the year and make yourself, chill and enjoy your fruits. Look at you. You got your Mech TV show, your Mech-X4. You got, you're working with Disney. You got 5 Points. You got Alexa and Katie. You got Spider-Man.
Yeah, man.
You got American Vandal. Dude, you're 19.
Yes.
You got 5 amazing shows under your belt. What's up?
I'm out here, I'm working. I'm just, just hitting the ground running.
Hitting the ground running is amazing. You have a great support system. Your girlfriend supports you. Your parents support you. I'm a voice actor, and I know how tough it is. And you got your pops, which is a legend in the business.
Yes, sir, I do. And I'm super fortunate that each entry point has been so kind to me, and I have people behind me who are super supportive, and they will not let my head get too big. So that's really nice.
That's a good thing. Your parents are probably putting you in check all the time, right?
Oh, yeah. I have 2 older brothers, and that's all they do. That's their job.
Are they in acting?
No. One of them's in the Air Force, and he's serving our country, which is amazing. And the other one's in college. He's a musician.
That's wonderful. Now, I know you have a hip-hop background. Do you dabble in hip-hop music or just dance? Or would you like to be in any kind of like dance movie?
No, I'm not opposed to dance movies. I think they're really amazing. And I'm not opposed to musicals at all as well, So would love to do that. I'd love to sing. I'm not really a hip-hop artist. I think I would find myself as more of an R&B soul artist, but I don't really have any music. So, I love to sing, though.
You would be on a show to sing, like, how some TV shows or films, they make you sing. You wouldn't mind doing that, of course.
No, I would love to do that. It would be amazing. I'd love to try to sing a couple notes.
Have you ever tried to use any of your characters to impress anybody?
Oh, wow. I would say no, because I feel like if I'm trying to impress someone by using the characters I've used, I feel like they won't really accept me for me. I feel like if I'm trying to push my characters onto someone like, oh, I've done this and this and this, then I don't really know if they really want to actually get to know me. So I'd rather be like, oh, I'm Nate, and I like this, and this, and then have them like me for me.
I don't want to press the getting girl stuff. You have a girlfriend. She's probably going to listen to this, and she's like, why the hell did he ask you? You know you have a girlfriend.
No.
I do that all the time. I
nice.
mess with people, but I'm not going to do that with you. You guys are young. I don't want no trouble back home for you.
No. It's okay. She's totally understanding, and she knows where I lie.
Ooh, there you go. How do you feel with her being an actress?
I'm fully supportive. I love to see her work all the time, and I love to see her actually get to express herself artistically this way. She actually really loves to write as well as to act. I love to see her when she's like on her computer. She'll just be on like final draft, and she'll just be writing, and I love it. It's amazing. We love to do all sorts of stuff together.
Is there any shows like The Walking Dead that you might want to be on?
I think a show that I would love to be on right now would probably be Atlanta. I think they're coming back for a third season. That show is awesome. I'm not watching a lot of shows right now. I'd love to be in a lot of movies. Like, I'd love to work with directors like Barry Jenkins. He's coming out with a new movie, which looks fantastic. Would love to be in movies with like the greats like Paul Thomas Anderson and Christopher Nolan, of course. They're some of my favorite directors.
If you want to work with directors that are like, very good at their trade and stuff like that, and it shows a lot because, you're really looking into it. Do you research a lot of things of who you want to work with?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I'm on IMDb Pro all the time. I'll be looking for new movies coming out and who's in them and who's directing them, who's producing them, who's writing them. I'm completely fascinated by the whole executive side of the industry. And I think it's so cool when I see directors who are like, oh my gosh, I like that director, and they directed that too. And I just like to correlate like who my favorite directors are and artists are, So, I mean, it's just super fun. I find myself like looking at like actors I really admire. I was looking at Adam Sandler's IMDb the other day, and he's going to be in a movie with some of my favorite directors, the Safdie brothers. Fantastic directors, so great, and I was so excited to see Adam Sandler is going to be working with them on a new movie, and I was like, that's awesome.
That's another company that you can keep your eye on because you already have a foot in with them already with American Vandal.
Yes, I do. Yeah, and Alexa and Katie, which is super nice. I actually went to the Emmy Netflix party, which was super, super fun. I had a great time there. And they were just so, I'd never seen so many like executive and creative and artistic people in one room like before. I was like, wow. I was just looking at like, oh my goodness, there's Dave Chappelle. That's one of my favorite comedians. I was like, oh my gosh, look at Ben Stiller from the Meyerowitz Stories. I'm just having so much fun. These stars that were amazing, and Netflix was the people that got me there, So I'm super fortunate for them as well, and I'm glad that I do have an in with them, because I can't wait to see what we come up with next.
That's absolutely right. There's so much opportunity, so much going on. What's a perfect day for you?
A perfect day. I guess the perfect day for me would be to wake up, probably go to the gym, then come home, read a book a little bit, like read a chapter, watch a movie, then probably go out, be with my girlfriend for a little bit. We would probably go to like John and Vinny's for dinner. After that, we would to the beach. We love to go to Malibu. Malibu is amazing. It's beautiful. Just look at the ocean.
So you're living the life, man. Beach, Hollywood. You got your girl that supports you. Your mom and dad is in the business. You have so many amazing shows. Hey, man, it's going great. I hope the universe listens to you, and we're going to keep having you coming back on our show, because if you got any good news, anything, we're here for you, brother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been really actually fun interviewing with you. You ask wonderful questions, by the way. There's a lot of people who interview people, and they ask really weird questions, or they're like not extensive enough, or they don't have enough like heart in it. And I'm like, what do you mean? So I'd never had to ask that once, and you're fantastic. And I just had a really nice time talking to you.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel. So Galaxy fans, universe fans out there, this is Nathaniel Potvin, a rising star in Hollywood. You're going to see him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame one day. And he's on amazing shows. If you want to catch some of Nathaniel's shows, you know me with my T and H's, ladies and germs. They always make fun of me. They're like, hey, pronounce it right. But if you want to catch him on some of his shows, you can watch him on American Vandal. He plays Trevor Gonzo. You can catch him on Mech-X4 if you haven't already. Duh. He's Ryan Walker. On Spider-Man, he's on Alexia and Katie. He's on 5 Points. He's on so many things. His short film's coming out. Do you have a website for your short film, Nathaniel?
I do not, but it's going to be in festivals, which is really cool.
And what's the name of it?
It's called Lip.
Lip. It's called Lip. So it's going to be great. It's actually directed and written by him and his buddy. His parents are involved. They're great at what they do. This is an amazing story. I can't wait to have a chat with you again. And you're like, hey, man, I became Spider-Man finally. That'll be cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. The first time when I book it, I'm telling you first.
Please. Then I'll ask you that question. Who was the first person you told about Spider-Man? You say, I told Galaxy.
I told Galaxy.
There you go, baby. So I can't wait. We're going to have our events coming up this summer. So I'm going to love to invite you out to those. And I'll, chat with you about that. Because I know fans
awesome.
out there want to meet you face to face. And at the end of every show, we do this, Nathaniel. I say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host, Galaxy, with Nathaniel Potvin on Comic-Con Radio. And then I blow him like 1,000 kisses. Mwah. Blow them a kiss, Nathaniel.
All right. Mwah.
There you go. You got a kiss from him, girls. Or not girls, but, people. Let's not get him in trouble. But anyways, you're listening to Comic-Con Radio. This is your boy, Galaxy. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was amazing. Check out Nathaniel on his social media. What's your social media, Nathaniel?
On Instagram, it's at Nathaniel Potvin. Oh, on Facebook, it's Nathaniel Potvin, too.
There you go. Go on Facebook, go to Instagram, follow him everywhere, watch his career, and watch him grow right to the top. We can't wait. Thank you so much. Peace out, everybody. See you next time on Comic-Con Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio.
Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comiccon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Comic-Con Radio. You can call us toll-free right now. 800-976-0305. 800-976-0305. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.